Yep, I am. Steer clear of touching any of this because the exhibit will start. So we'll spread out a little bit here, there, perfect. Hi. FYI, don't lean up against any of this. The exhibit will start. So if you want to stand here.
Good morning and welcome to this iconic building known as the Muhammad Ali Center here in Louisville, Kentucky, for a special announcement that we have today regarding the Louisville Metro Police and stretching our arms out into the community today. And we're so happy to do that as we begin a new year. Something good is going to happen in 2022. And we're going to start it out early here in July. But it gives me great honor and privilege to introduce the three-time mayor of the city of Louisville, the Honorable Mayor Greg Fischer.
Thank you, Dwight. Always a pleasure to share the podium with you. He's a legend in the city. Here at the home of the legendary Muhammad Ali, we couldn't think about a better place to announce the exciting news around the Police Activities League. We're here at this specific location because this exhibit commemorates an event here in our city that eventually would shake up the world, as the champ would say, and it was a chance encounter between a boy from Parkland, the Parkland neighborhood, 3302 Grand Avenue, and a Louisville police officer. And you may know this story, but it's one that I never get tired of retelling. And when you think about that 12-year-old Cassius Clay and his brother Rudy got a new bike for the Christmas holidays. It was a new red Schwinn bike. They were so excited, they drove from the Parkland neighborhood downtown, and lo and behold, somebody stole Cassius Clay's bike. He was mad. And so when he went to report the bike, he went down into the basement of what was now Spalding University, and he found a police sergeant in there, Joe Martin. And he was mad and tearfully, he told Martin, I'm going to find whoever stole my bike and I'm going to whoop them. And Joe Martin said, well, do you know how to box? And he looked at him, no, I don't. He said, why don't you come here tomorrow morning and we'll get started on that. So it's a real reminder to each of us about how fateful everyday actions can be and what you do in that moment of truth. Do you turn away or do you turn in? Do you help or do you run away? And so here's a white cop with a young black kid saying, come on through. He didn't see who Cassius was. He's just a young man that needed some help, and he stood up to help him. So on that day and in that moment, Sergeant Martin redirected young Cassius's energy into sports, boxing. And it turned out, obviously, that Joe Martin was one of the great boxing coaches of the day, and he told young Cassius that he'd teach him the ropes. So Cassius turned up in Martin's gym the very next day. Later on, he'd go down to Joe Stoner's gym in Smoketown, so he had multiple coaches. But Joe Martin was his first coach, and that was the first step on his journey to becoming the greatest of all time, our most favorite son here in Louisville, Muhammad Ali. So I'm convinced that our country and our city is full of future Muhammad Alis. They may not become three-time heavyweight champions of the world. They may not be one of the all-time great humanitarians in the world, but they can become great community leaders. They can become great educators, great business leaders, nonprofit leaders, doctors, all ready for a mentor, a teacher, somebody to step up and have that Joe Martin moment with them. And today, when we think about policing and policing at an inflection point in our country and the important role that police play as role models and inflection points for our community, they have an extraordinarily important role to play outside of what some people think is a traditional police officer's role. Traditional policing really includes community engagement and lifting kids up and helping everybody to build that type of trust. So I'm really happy that our Metro police officers, they're involved with this program, and I hope more and more will be. They get that, and they get the importance of it, and it makes you feel good too when you really make a difference in somebody's life, which is going to happen with so many of our police officers as mentors and models for the young folks that are going to be involved in the Police Activities League. So as we've worked to reimagine public safety, we've been reminded of the basic fact, time and time again, that our officers are our neighbors. They're invested in our community's success, whether they're on duty or off duty. And so today we're announcing a new outlet for facilitating positive connections that help young people learn and grow, especially those most in need of support, and they see and identify with our police officers as their friends and their mentors, their big brothers, their uncles, their aunts. The Louisville Metro Police Activities League will soon launch to create opportunities for coaching, mentorship, and friendship in a safe and fun and a learning environment. Chief Shields will provide the details in a moment and introduce some of our great partners in this work. Before she does that, I want to acknowledge Rick Pollin. Rick is keeping a very low profile. He's the handsome gentleman back here that's follically challenged. He's a retired LMPD sergeant. He's really the founder of this version of the Police Activities League. Rick has a passion for youth. He has a passion for sports. He understands the power of an activities league, an athletic league, when he was involved with it as a younger LMPD sergeant, along with his friend James Rice, Detective Rice, who's here with us today. James and Rick entered the academy on the exact same day. And fortunately, they're still serving the city to this. So I want to commend you guys for the wonderful work that you guys do. So Rick, thank you for your leadership in getting the program started here today. We got a lot of great partners we're going to hear from in a moment. I want to thank all the compassionate LMPD officers who really understand the big picture of what policing is all about in our community. We're looking forward to the program growing. We're starting off not that small, actually, but it's going to continue to grow. So remember, we got to look no further than our own Muhammad Ali for an example that just an extraordinary thing that can happen when there's positive interactions between police and young people. So I'm really excited that LMPD will be working with many future greats throughout this wonderful program. So we appreciate y'all covering this here today. And now I would like to introduce our police chief, Erica Shields, who celebrated her 1-year anniversary with us just the other day. So, Chief, we're happy to have you with us here today.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. So thank you, Mayor. And I say thank you for many reasons. When I came here, and obviously it's been a year of many surprises, much change. One of my earliest meetings with the mayor, and I mentioned to him that I always thought that adults overthink how to connect with youth. We try to create all these matrices and plans, and the reality of it is we just need to ask them what interests them. What do they want to do? And I learned that in Atlanta. And one of the things in Atlanta for me was my entire career there. We had it was a Police Athletic League, PAL. It's now Police Activities League because they've expanded. And it was absolutely instrumental to our connection with children, but in particular, youth in at-risk communities. And what I saw through my career is the PAL officers, they became a part of the families of those children they worked with daily, to the point that there were some of them who would end up having the kids, go to college, get them off to college, ensure they had degrees. I mean, they became a part of the families. And so I'd mentioned to the mayor, I said, I wish we had PAL. Didn't give it a thought. And a few months later, it comes back and he's put a line item in the budget for it and said, how about give it a shot? And that's why I tell folks since I've been here, it's not been easy, but I have gotten so much support, and everything that I have looked to the mayor for support on, particularly as it applies to getting us in a position where we can connect with the community. I've received what I've asked for, and this for me is huge. I need to acknowledge Jeff Hood. Jeff Hood is the executive director, the CEO of the Police Athletics League, Activities League. I've got to rebrand myself on this one. He's the national head of this organization. And I think for Louisville and Louisville PD, this is a game changer. What these programs do is it takes police and youth, and what they do is they connect over a shared interest. So the youth are not required to go attend, and the police are not required to work there. I can tell you, I staffed a PAL program with officers, and I had no shortage of candidates. And what ended up happening is I would have had an entire department, everybody working PAL. But instead, what officers do is they end up volunteering, and which is what we will be doing here with our staffing shortages. Just so we're clear, the officers who are engaged in this program, it will be volunteer time, to include myself. I'm thrilled about this. And what you're doing is you're providing a space where these common shared interests by both the police and the youth come together. So whether it's basketball, boxing, cooking, we had an I Feel Pretty program for teenage adults, young teenagers. And what ends up happening is it starts at the ground level of the commonality of the shared interest in an activity. And out of it grows mentorship and ultimately friendship in many instances. These programs will be operated out of school after school hours. We're kicking off February 5th with the basketball program. We'll be doing a boxing program, will be rolled out in partnership with TKO Boxing. There's a culinary program, which, my God, I would not qualify for. Chef Space, I can tell you who you don't want. You're looking at them. And then we'll also bring this up in the rears in the spring with soccer. This is a heavy lift, but the point of what I think the Police Activities League has really tried to do over the last several years under Jeff's leadership is really attract even and appeal to even more kids, more youth. You cannot be successful with a PAL program without the support of your community partners. You just cannot. And we're so fortunate here because some of the strongest leaders and forward-thinking talent in this city has readily said, we will work with you, we will help you. Anthony Howard, Wes Hinton, their organizations have just been so central to serving Louisville Metro through the Delta Foundation, A1 All-Stars, and they immediately offered their gymnasium as a venue for the basketball. Mayor Fischer, of course, mentioned this being home to the champ, which we certainly are. James Dixon immediately agreed to partner with us, proffered up TKO Boxing Club as a site that we could connect with him to work with children on boxing. And while athletics is important and appeals to a large number of kids, for many it doesn't. And it's really important that we provide a way to connect with these kids as well, and that we get these officers involved who aren't interested in sports. And the Chef Space in the neighborhood and Tom Moreau, I cannot say enough. Your leadership has been phenomenal, and I'm so grateful for your willingness to step forward. And so more than anything, I just want to say thank you to Mayor Fischer. Thank you, Rick Pollin, for feeling so passionate about this. And thank you for the community partners who are helping us make this a reality. This is a really positive thing. Thank you. Dwight?
When you get old, I didn't know you had to do all this fumbling around with glasses and things of this nature, but I'll try to get going here. It gives me a great honor to introduce Mr. Jeff Hood, who is the Executive Director of the National Association of the Police Activities League. Mr. Hood formerly served as the Executive Director of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Activities League and has been involved with several youth-related causes for more than 30 years. Anytime you deal with kids for 30 years, that's a good thing, including programming for youth wilderness camps, as well as programs associated with inpatient and outpatient substance abuse services. Louisville welcomes the vast experience and knowledge of Mr. Jeff Hood. Let's hear from him now.
Good morning. Good morning. Almost feel like crying up here. It's been a long time coming. You know, when I came on board, was actually come on board first. Let me thank Mayor and Chief Shields for coming to this decision that PAL is something that is going to be a very integral piece within the fabric and fiber of your community. And as well, can't thank Rick as well enough. And I'm so glad that I'm here. So now that my cell phone won't either be going off from texting or calls or emails, we've been in communication for quite some time about this, and I'm so glad that it's coming to fruition. How important it is to have this announcement in the home of one of our most famous alum, you know, Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. You know, as Mayor was speaking about of looking to bring about future greatness of young people, that's something that we are taking and head on going into right now. PAL has been around for over 100 years. a lot of great success has come from PAL programs. We are the world's foremost leader in engaging kids, cops, and communities. In addition to Muhammad Ali, some of our esteemed alum, Alicia Keys, Colin Powell, George Foreman, and a whole host of others, including what's come full circle. I was once one of those snot-nosed little kids in Queens, inner city Queens, New York, growing up in PAL, and have now the opportunity to be the CEO for National PAL. To me, speaks volumes. It speaks of where one can start and where one can go. As I stated, I'm from inner city projects, New York. On welfare as a family and all of those things. And in spite of it all, there were caring adults, there were caring law enforcement officers that saw something in myself and others within the community of which I grew up to say, this may be where you're from, but it's not going to be your final destination. That's what can be accomplished here within this Louisville community. And I'm so happy that it's finally come to this point, as even before Chief Shields had gotten here, I've been trying to get a PAL program here. And when Chief Shields came from Atlanta here, an awesome program. Atlanta PAL is one of our stalwart programs of PAL all across this world. And we come to you now with over 300 chapters across this world. And I do say world because we are international now. We do have programs in Nigeria, Africa. We have partnership programs in Australia and several other places as well. So with that, I just can't thank you guys enough. And I'm looking forward to continuing, not just now that we have it up and running. I will continue to be involved and engaged in, even so much through mentorship, which is what PAL is all about. It's about establishing positive relationships between these kids, cops, and communities through mentorship. We mentor through sports. We mentor through activities. We mentor through culinary arts. So we're looking forward to establishing mentorship programs. And even so, is that National PAL, my office, will be making dollars available as well towards the establishment of mentorship programs within this Louisville metro community as well. And we're so looking forward to bringing that to fruition. So thank you guys so much for being here. And I can't thank Chief Shields and Rick and your mayor enough. And as well, I have to admit, my good buddy Morris over here as well. Stop trying to hide, Morris. You know, for being a part and a sounding board through a lot of this time of trying to get this established here. And as well, thank you, Ali Center, for hosting this morning, and looking forward to all of the wonderful successes that will come from this Louisville Metro PAL program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hood. I can't take credit for the Ali Center. I am part of LMPD, but I'll take whatever you want to give me. I didn't know I was going to get inherited like that. That's wonderful. Next, I'd like to introduce Brother Jason Scruggs, who is representing the Delta Foundation, which is a nonprofit mentorship program specializing in helping at-risk young athletes meet their potential, and will be hosting the PAL basketball program in partnership with Anthony Howard and A1 All-Stars. Mr. Jason Scruggs.
First, let me say good morning to everyone. It's good to see everyone here today, and just can't express how excited that we are to collaborate with the police department and our A1, a brother, a sister company or foundation, We've collaborated on so many projects, and we're just extremely excited to kind of build on the foundation that we have there. Extremely appreciative that the work that we've done there has been noticed. And a little bit about Delta, it stands for Developing Educational Leaders Through Academics. And what we do is we're on a daily basis or throughout the year, we've been able to cater to 200 kids through our after-school program, through our tutoring and mentorship programs, our summer programs. And we're right there on the border of West Louisville, and we're right in Portland. So we're right there in the midst of everything. I have been blessed to have the opportunity to be there with the children that we speak about. I see them every day. I get to look into their eyes, and it's just a passion of mine to see them go from one level to the next. And so this opportunity that we have with the police department and also with A1, we're extremely, extremely excited. Extremely excited to continue what we have going. And myself, and along with my director, Wes Hinton, who couldn't be here for health reasons, but we're extremely excited to continue the work that we have there. I'll be hands-on with the kids. So anytime that you guys pop into Delta once we get this thing rolling, you'll see me running around the gym and making things happen. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a lot of other mentorship programs to come, but we're excited to get started here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scruggs. For over a decade, James Dixon, founder of TKO Boxing Gym, has been training world caliber boxers. Mr. Dixon is a well-respected in the Louisville community as well as the international boxing community. TKO Boxing takes pride in working with the underprivileged talent, allowing them to shine, and has partnered to host a PAL boxing program. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Dixon.
James.
First of all, thank everybody for coming out. Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Mayor. Thank you, sir, from the PAL, National PAL. I stand here today on kids that most people turn away. The kids that the cops are kind of intervening with on a daily basis. And when Rick came to me and gave me an opportunity to work with the PAL, I was kind of hesitant at first, but the passion that Rick showed and the other officers that came that wanted to be involved, I got to thinking about the Muhammad Ali story. January 17th, Muhammad Ali, 1942, Muhammad Ali was born. 12 years old, his bike was stolen. He walked into a boxing gym at 12 years old. 6 weeks later, he won his first fight. Okay? By the time he graduated from high school, his record was 100 wins, 8 losses. He graduates from high school, goes to Rome, wins a gold medal in the 1960 Olympics. The rest is history. We're standing here in this great, museum. But it took Joe Martin, a police officer, just like he said, to give him the opportunity. I could see it. I think about it all the time, him walking to the gym for the first time. There's a lot of Muhammad Alis in this town. Now, they might not be, like he said, world champions 3 times, Nobel Peace Prize, but they could be world-class citizens. And that's what we do at TKO. We give kids the confidence to succeed in whatever they want. One thing I love about boxing that's different from all sports, it's a lifestyle. To be good at boxing, Muhammad Ali sacrificed. There ain't no off season. You come every single day. That's what makes TKO successful. I stand here on a lot of national champions, from kids from the West End, from Portland, from the South End, from PRP, the kids that weren't making it quite in school. They won nationals, and I stand here for every kid that's ever put on gloves for me. And I'm just very, very excited for the opportunity to be working with them. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Our last speaker will be Mr. Tom Moreau, who in the former Jay's Restaurant located in the Russell neighborhood, Chef Space, is developing and inspiring innovative new talent for the Louisville culinary scene. Chef Space Director Tom Moreau is partnering with the POWER program, creating endless opportunities for everyone involved. It must be adults because nobody can seem to cook, from what I'm hearing when that came up. So we're getting some world-class opportunities here with Mr. Moreau, and let's hear from him now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here. My name's Tom. I'm the president of Chef Space. We are a kitchen incubator, essentially. So we do small business development for people that want to have food ventures, food trucks, catering programs, meal prep, things like that. We are in the business of mentoring. So we do technical assistance, education. We provide resources for people that want to get up and going in the culinary world. So haven't done anything like this before with kids or younger groups, but when Rick came to us, his passion and enthusiasm really got me kind of riled up a little bit. So we're starting to recruit some help from some of our chefs there. Some of our better known chefs as well are going to step up. So we and my parent company, Community Ventures, we're focused on community development, whether that's, helping people with housing, helping people with small business startups. We want to be kind of a beacon of growth and hope and light. And I feel like this program is just a further extension of that. So we are very, very excited to be a part of this. And any of the officers and chief that need some quick cooking classes, we'll send you the schedule so we can get you in there. So thank you all so much for having us. Thank you.
We'll take anything you can give us, brother, anytime. This sterling young man that's behind me, that's dressed in this crisp LMPD uniform, is actually our last speaker. And he's one of the first officers to step up in the role of what we're trying and talking about today. Because one thing my mother's always said, give me my flowers while I'm living, because dead noses can't smell roses. And so Officer Salat Awiz is stepping up to give his talent. He's going to be heading the soccer portion of our PAL League. And, he he was born in another country. But now he's risen to the heights of being here, doing his thing as a police officer. And I'd like for him to come right now to tell us all about what he's going to be doing. Let's give him a hand.
Sorry, this is new to me. Dear Mayor Fischer and Chief Shields, and to all our partners, my name is Salah Always. I work in the 4th Division. My parents are from Somalia, and I grew up in a refugee camp in Kenya called Ifo. I'm very excited to be participating in this program. I know this program will be successful with all our partners. It's important that we have this program so various communities know that we're here and that we want and help assist and direct our next generation of children. This program won't just help build our relationship with the community, but help our parents and kids see the type of people we are. When Mr. Pollin first put out the email for this program, I knew I had to get involved. I knew I had to get involved. There are so many communities that would yearn for opportunities to be involved in this. I know because growing up in Louisville, Illinois, we had a similar program with great people like Coach Howard back there, Mr. Pollin, Mr. West, Mr. Dixon from TKO, Mr. Tom from the Chef Space, that volunteered their personal time to make time for us to do our homework, read to us, play with us, let us be children. This program was only supposed to last for 2 years, but it ended up lasting for 16 years. It carved me to the person I am today and much more. I know our program can do the same and much more for years to come. I've decided to help Mr. Pollin out with the soccer portion of our program. Currently, I am volunteering coaching our Somalian team. I've coached an adult team the ages are about 16 to about 25. Most of the kids are older than me, but I decided to coach for them, and they respect me, and we have mutual respect. We've won many, many tournaments, and it's been great. And I also coach a youth team that are from age 5 to 16, and we just started out last year, and they've been doing great as well. Thank you.
For something you're not used to, you did well, my friend. At this time, we're going to open up the floor for any questions from the media.
What's the age
We're gonna bring up Rick Pollin. This is him. So we're gonna bring him up. Let him answer all those questions.
I'm Rick Pollin. Thank you guys for coming. We're looking at probably 8 to 17 or 18, and we think that's kind of the sweet spot for getting kids involved with activities like this.
How do you make sure, this is voluntary, how do you make sure that you're getting kids to sign up who maybe have a negative attitude toward police and not just the kids who already have a positive attitude?
Please.
Louisville TKO, when we started 10 years ago, I had an officer to come in. His name is Major Bates. I love this story. Major Bates come in and we had kids that had that attitude. Like I'll never forget the first day that Major Bates walked in. He was in uniform. He left and the kids came over to me. Who's that guy? Who's that guy? I said, he's coming next week. And you guys better be ready because he's coming to spar you guys. The guys got excited. We're going to whoop this cop. He comes back the next Friday. I'll never forget. The gym kind of got full. Major Bates sparred 3 of the guys there. Held his own, an older guy. The respect that he got and gained from those kids. This is right over on Breckenridge. And these are some of the rugged kids from the West End. The relationship got close. The bond was there because now they didn't see him as a police officer. They see him, hey, here's a tough guy then the communication started. Major Bates stayed on as a board member of mine for 5 years and came to the gym active, sparring and working with the kids. And I think it helped. And then, we got moved out of a different district. But that's what we need. We need more interaction with guys and police officers. But I wanted to answer that. It worked out great.
Chief Shields, do you see this as any kind of long-term solution for the violent crime problems the city's currently having?
Oh, I think it's part of the solution, certainly. I mean, I think there's numerous layers to getting a handle on the violent crime. What PAL does so well is it keeps kids busy, it gives them a purpose, it gives them hope. And I think that when you're looking at young folks who are associated with violence, it's because they have no hope. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is to provide that platform and that space where they belong and they're supported. So I think it's absolutely a component of the solution, yes.
You've been in this position for a year now. What would you say was the defining characteristic of your first year? And do you see maybe this as one of the defining characteristics of your second year?
There's been a lot. There's been a lot. I don't know that there's been one thing. I think for me, what I see markedly different from this year to last is this is a really hopeful and positive press conference. This is where the city needs to be focused. This is where our energy needs to be. And that's not to absolve LMPD from its history. It's just to say we're aware of the history, we're responsible for it, but we have an obligation to improve, to do better, and to take care of the community. That's what we're sworn to do. So I think this is very positive, and I'm appreciative of it.
All right, well, thank you all for coming out today. Before we conclude, I want to recognize Deputy Mayor Ellen Hessen, who's been a big advocate for PAL all along. Ellen does a wonderful job each and every day, so thank you so much. And we wouldn't be here without Rick Pollin again, who has had the passion to do all the research and the contacts, as you can see, the results from our partners up here. So Rick, again, thank you very, very much. Chief, everybody else, Jeff, thanks for being in town. God bless you all. Please continue to cover PAL. Stay safe and stay warm.